Welcome to MTG Ectoplasm, your home for spirit travel and Magic the Gathering. I'm your host, Dwight, aka DeBlanco, a medium that wears an extra extra large. You can reach out to me on Twitter at MTG Ectoplasm, or you can email me directly at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com. Let me know how am I doing. Am I doing a good job, a bad job, or maybe I shouldn't quit my day job? Now, like I ask each and every single episode, it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, to help me out here. Hit that follow, like, subscribe button. It could be over here, or somewhere down here. I don't know where you're streaming this. Hopefully you're on YouTube. Maybe you're on Twitch. Maybe you're on Spotify or what's Google or Apple Podcast. You know, you're streaming that way. I don't know how you're streaming, but do me a favor, hit that follow, like, subscribe button. It's a moral imperative. And while you're doing that, share this with your friends and family. Because you know, I know, we both know, hell, we all know that the 30th anniversary is here and Magic the Gathering is booming. It's just growing. And guess what? If you like the show, you know your friends and family are gonna like the show. So why would we hold out on them? You know, this is a nice little hidden gem that you want to go, hey, I'll share this little treat with you. You know, it's trick or treat time. Here's a little treat. Uh, it's not a trick, but you'll enjoy all this shenanigans this young man talks about. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please share, follow, like, subscribe the show. Now, like I do each and every other episode as well, I bring in the one who does the backgrounds, that do all the little shenanigans that you don't see in front of the camera. I call her the Ravishing One. Let me bring into the show the one, the only, the Ravishing Renata. How you doing there, Ravishing?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Hey, it's been a little bit, for those who don't know, my mother had, health issues. Today she went to go get her COVID vaccine, another one influenza vaccine, and then I came up with a horrible sinus infection. You can probably hear it in my voice. It's deeper than normal, but she, the Ravishing One, ended up getting the sinus infection. I got the sinus infection. It was brutal it was awful. Well,
Yeah.
I don't even, it looked like ectoplasm was literally leaking out of me. It was just gross. It was awful. So we're happy we're back. I do plan to do the one episode that I did mention on the last episode. I'm gonna try to have that one out Friday, sometime Friday in the morning or later on in the evening. But I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that episode will be out by Friday. Hopefully you'll like this, because the fact that, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, RCQs are here. And the best part is, people are winning and taking names and grabbing asses and doing so on and so forth. Me personally, I'm going to be humbly and honest. I got me 3 foil extended art to Selfless Spirits. I had to pay for 3 of them, but my goal is to win 1. Unfortunately, there was an RCQ that was down the street from me at Greg's Games. Those people. I like to go to Greg's Game and say in Hamilton, New Jersey. But unfortunately, I missed out because I was working a double. I'm a nurse, so I got stuck working a double that day, and I missed out on that RCQ. But I'm going to do my best to find another RCQ so I can get my selfless spirit extended art foil to say that I won it instead of paid for it. So with that being said, there's another announcement I want to make real quick before we get into this episode, is that Star City Games is showing up in Philly in November. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I got permission, right, Ravishing?
Of course.
I got permission from Ravishing. Woo! Hold on. All right. This is enough of the shenanigans. All right. I'm going to be there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you, the listening and viewing audience. I'm going to allow you to choose what format you want me to go in. Now, mind you, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to show up with Azorius. I don't care if it's modern or pioneer. I'm letting you pick. The reason why I'm doing just Azorius is because, guess what? We have the Masters, we have Remph, and then we got the Mr. Fink, okay, and then we have Andre Segura. These are Masters that are focusing on Bant and Mono Blue. We have no true master in Azorius. And if I gotta be that guy, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I will take up the mantle. I'll wear the crown. Hopefully this looks like a crown. I'm wearing that crown to sit there and be the king, to be the champion that you're looking for, to sit there and do it in Azorius, in Pioneer. And guess what? I have no fear, no worry. I'm going to go into Modern and take names and, kick names and take some ass. That's my goal. So I'm letting you, the viewing audience, choose when I go in there what format I'm going to play, Pioneer or Modern. But I need you to sit there and respond. Okay, in the chat box. I'm gonna even try to see if I can figure out how to do the polls on Twitter later on this week for you to decide before that event happens in the Star City Games event in Philadelphia in November. So with that being said, Ravishing, I think it's this time, right?
I think it's
I think it's time. Thank you, Mr. Rosewater. Now I know he's been under a little bit of hot water due to Magic the Gathering 30. I don't know if anybody's seen that. I didn't go after my boy Cassidy. He's the former uh, Pittsburgh Steeler, the former New England Patriot. He ended up getting I think it was like some expensive, what the hell was a proxy? The new 30 pack for like 4 packs for $1,000. A guy like me, I ain't got money like that. But I was like, oh, congratulations on an expensive proxy. And I think people thought I was like going after the guy, and I'm not. If he's got the money to spend that, go for you, bro. You make your money. You spend it the way you want. If you want an expensive ass proxy to look like the originals, that's on you, bro. Not me. And if that's the card you were happy with, congratulations. Just know that I'm not trying to start anything with my boy, uh, the football player. You know who I'm talking about. So, with that being said, Ravishing, it's now time to get into my friend Marc Rosewater's teasers, because the teasers are here. I'm jovial. I'm excited. I'm giddy about it because the fact that this only happens 4 times a year. Well, honestly, a little bit more than 4 times a year. But realistically, for us who deal with, standard, modern, Pioneer, realistically, 4 times a year. And here it is. Renata, the ravishing one, please read to us what Mr. Rosewater had to say.
Before previews for the Brothers' War officially begin, I thought it would be fun to do another of my duelist style teasers where I give tiny hints of things to come. Note that I'm only giving you partial information.
All right. Partial information. Now, first up, here are some of the things to expect. All right. Here are my formerly chocolatey stained fingers because I had me some chocolate cake earlier. And thank you, Ravishing, for making that chocolate cake. Chef's kiss. I should actually give the chef the kiss, right? Okay, ready? The first one is over 10 legendary human artificers. I'm going to sit there and say over 10 legendary artificers, which I think is going to be weird to have 10 of them. Okay, 10. That means yes. I wish I knew how to say it more in like Japanese and so on other languages, but I don't. I'm going to say if you can get 10 legendary artificers, human artificers, onto the board on the battlefield, you win the game. That's what I'm going to say there. Now, the next one reads another card with end the turn. Well, how many cards that we have like this? We've had several that just say, hey, you're going to play this, and boop, we're just going to end whatever you're doing. And sometimes I love these cards because the fact that, say, if there's another card that you're playing with that's fairly oppressive and you might lose the game, it's like, oh no, I get all the benefit and none of the issue, none of the things that I got to be worried about. It's usually an oppressive card that's going to benefit your end. So me personally, that's what I'm going to say about that particular card. Now, the next one, a command with X in its mana cost. Now, we've seen these commands before. The last one I've seen a command with X, I think it was like profane command, maybe. And but this time I'm gonna say it's gonna be a multicolored card. I want to go white blue. I don't know why. Something's telling me white blue. Or maybe it's just me with my bias in Azorius, but I'm going to say white blue. It's going to be different from most cards, but the thing is, where the X is X going to be allowing you to pick how many modals that you get to pick? Or is it the fact there's a X in each of the modals and you get to choose how many times the modal in that particular modal happens? Hopefully, if I confused you, you're going, uh so for example, if it says X draw cards, you get X draw cards, and you can do that 2 to 3 times. Just saying that's I know it's a but for something like that, it's going to be like a high mana cost. Now, the next one is a spell that mimics an element of the effect of a creature that has originally been printed with the picture of the world champion on it. World champion on it. Now, there's several cards out there that have something like this. I could go blue, like Snapcaster Mage. I could go black with the oh, the one card with the generic to black. I think it's like a 2/1 advisor that whenever you look at the top card of your library, you look at it and you pay for the mana cost. I forgot what it's called. I'm actually going to say it's something like that, where this time you don't get nailed by the mana cost. You get to reveal to your like look at X amount of cards on top of your library, and you can put a certain amount underneath your library. So you can look top of your library and then put, a certain amount on the bottom of your library. So it's like scrying instead of drawing. Now, the next one is a Teferi with a new way to gain loyalty counters. This one was a little tough. I was like, Teferi, new way of gaining loyalty counters. Well, I know, we both know. Hell, Ravishing a new Magic player, right, is now learning that Teferi likes instants and sorceries, right?
Yes.
So since Teferi likes instants and sorceries, I'm going to sit there and say this that Teferi's loyalty counters are going to be based on how many instants or sorceries that are in the graveyard. Just throwing out there, but to me, that's what I think it is. So there it is. Amen. Now, the next one an equipment with Equip Soldier. This could be anything, but if you think about most soldiers in the game of Magic the Gathering, they're usually holding two different type of weapons. They're either holding a sword or they're holding a spear. Now the question is, which one of these two are they going to hold? Me personally, since I don't play any soldiers, who cares? But as people who I know who play soldiers, I'm somewhat curious what's going to come out. Now, this one I was a little weirded by, and it's called a new onulet. Now, most people are like, what the hell's an onulet? It's an ONULET onulet. Now, this is a creature from way back in the day, way back in the game. It's an artifact creature. It's a weird creature. It was like a 2/2 creature. And basically, like whenever it died, you gained mana or you drew a card. I forget what it was, but this really misshapen form creature. It looked like a diamond or something with a face. It looked like a face of a donkey with a diamond form. Basically, it's weird, and I'm happy to see that it's back. We haven't had many onulants, and it's maybe it's time we have a new artifact type creature besides construct or ornithopter and go, hey, let's make some onulants. So that's going to be fun. Now the next one, protection from everything returns. Dear Lord, I hope this is just one creature because Progenitus, Ravishing, have you ever heard of Progenitus or is this the first time?
This is my first time.
Okay. Let me just tell you Progenitus. Progenitus is a Hydra. and its mana cost is like 2 green, 2 black, 2 blue, 2 white, 2 red. Okay, it's every single color in Magic but 2 of, and it's a 10/10 creature that you cannot kill. It's basically unkillable. The only way to deal with it is to have a board wipe, meaning like a Wrath the God type effect, and boom, it disappears. But if you try to target it with an instant or sorcery, it's not going to happen. You try to block it, it's not going to happen. No matter what you try to do to it, it's not going to happen. And it's a 10/10. So guess what? Once it hits the board, hits you once, it's going to hit you twice, it's going to hit you thrice. No matter what you do, basically, when that thing hits the board, you lost the game. So what do you think?
Nice.
Something you would love to play, right? Now, this what happens is this is going to be another creature. This has protection from everything. I do not think Progenitus is coming back. I'm going to predict something crazy. I'm going to go the opposite end of Progenitus. What do you think of this? I'm going the opposite. Progenitus comes on board. Basically, you win the game. This, I say no. I say is this. Ready? It's going to be a creature with Defender. A creature with Defender, meaning that it can attack. It just basically is a giant freaking wall and just says, eh, come at me. Come at me, bro. Where it says, I'm going to sit here and block all day. Or the fact that it's going to be 1 power and it's just going to peck and peck and peck and peck at you. I think it would be funny to see Magic. I'd love to see Watsy do something like that to annoy the hell out of people. So like, no, an everything card, protection from everything. No, this everything creature should be ultimate power, and it's like, yes, it's ultimate power, but it's like big, super massive power in the shape like he's small. Like the genie from Aladdin. I think that would be fun. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is a white creature that taps to let you and an opponent draw a card. Me personally, excuse me, still part of the sinus infection. This is what I think. I think it's great that white gets to draw cards, and it's about damn time. I love the fact that I get to draw cards in white. Now, the problem is, I do not like my opponents drawing cards. This is a card resource. If I'm going to do a card resource, why do I want to share the card resource with anybody? I don't. I'm a selfish guy. I'm a single child. You know what I mean? I'm the only child with my mother. My father, that's a different story. There's 20 plus. But, I don't even talk to them. But with that being said, it's as a single child, only child, no, gimme, gimme, gimme. It's all about me, not about them. Come on, white creatures? No. But I am interested to see what happens. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish it was a spirit. I really pray that it's a spirit. I pray it's a 1 mana spirit. For a 1 mana spirit that flies and does damage, and next thing you know, or taps, and I get to draw a card, and my opponent gets a card. You know, that's something I would probably take up. And then finally, 1-colored artifacts. Really? Really? 1-colored artifacts? Dear God. Ravishing, you're new to the game. You basically started, since I started this podcast, you're really learning, you're growing in the game. This could be anything. Really. It's like Embercleave. God, what else is there? There's so much. The God Slayer, which was like it's like a white mana. Uh I know there's a black one. Oh God, the witch's hand. I think like the Eye of Vecna. Like they have like, come on, guys. Give us a little bit more here. Give me a little bit more juice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty vague.
It's too vague. Too vague. All right, Ravishing, why don't you read us what's next?
Next, we have our MTG Ectoplasm merch store.
A merch store, and you don't say.
Yes, and our Brew Crew t-shirts are now available.
You heard this now from the lips of the Ravishing one. Our Boo Crew t-shirts. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Join the Boo Crew. You know, I know, we all know that you love the Boo Crew. You love being here. The best way to support the show is buy a t-shirt. or not a coffee mug. Ravishing, if you don't mind, can you please hand me my coffee mug that's sitting there on the kitchen counter? With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, come to mtgectoplasm.com. We got t-shirts, women and men of all sizes. Okay? All displays. And oh, look at this. Look at this beautiful coffee mug. With my favorite beverage right there. Now, remember, we got men and women's sizes. We got the MTG Ectoplasm. We got the MTG IRL, which will be coming back soon because Dan just had a kid. Congratulations, Dan. So we will have the IRL show back and the gameplay. I'm trying to get those gameplays posted. I play them a lot, but I'm trying to get them posted. It's taking longer. It's about editing, man. I really hate editing, but it's coming soon. And then uh, there's a new show that's coming up. The Ravishing One is making. Hopefully, we'll start getting that out to you sooner or later. So for people who are new to Magic, or you're trying to get your girlfriend or boyfriend to come and play Magic the Gathering, hey, the Ravishing One is making something for them. So have no fear, have no worry. This is your home for Magic the Gathering and the Spirit Tribe. So let's get this thing read. What's next, Ravishing?
Next, here are some rules text that will be showing up on some cards.
All right, rules text. Everybody loves rules text. Right? But this is going to be interesting. Ready? First one, create a tap Power Stone token for each other creature you control. A Power Stone token. This could be terribly powerful, or this could be completely underwhelming. I'm excited to see where they go with this. I'm not going to go yet. I want to hold out optimism here. Next one is put a +1/+1 counter on target assembly worker you control. Well, if you don't know, this has been going on from Magic the Gathering's near creation, where they put it on lands. And they go, tap, oh, this artifact creature gets a +1/+1. This construct gets a +1/+1. I'm going to sit there and say, let the tradition continue in Dominaria in the Brothers' War. And it's going to be a land. That's, you heard it here first. I'm just throwing excrement against the wall and seeing if it sticks. Next one is whenever one or more creatures with a mana value 3 or less enter the battlefield under your control, I'm going to say create creature. I'm going to say a golem. And it only benefits you and not the opponent. It's going to be different from the card that I'm going to say next. It's a little bit different. Ready? Permanents you control have ward. Sacrifice a permanent. That's a powerful ass ward if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. Anything that targets you, oh, I got this wonderful creature. And oh, I'm gonna target it. Wah, 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 wah. Hold on. Got the sound effect right there. Guess what? You have a creature. That creature is gone. Adios, arrivederci, goodbye, mushi mushi, konnichiwa. Aloha means hello and goodbye. That's pretty strong right there. Whenever you cast an artifact spell with mana cost 6 or greater, I'm going to say opponent sacrifices. Oh, no. Sorry. Permanents you control have ward, sacrifice a permanent. That's powerful. That means lands too. Wow. That means lands, artifacts, planeswalker. It could be anything. Wow. Now, the next one is whenever you cast an artifact spell with mana value 6 or greater, opponent sacrifice. I'm going to say opponent sacrifices a creature. And there is a reason why I say this. In the Brothers' War, okay, they make these machines, they make these automatons. And the bigger and bigger they get. And it becomes difficult for the humans to survive in this automaton war. So guess what? Creatures are going to have to be thrown to the wayside. These creatures are going to be using these human bodies as nothing more than pieces of cobblestone road. Very sad, very tragic. Makes me want to cry. Next is For each card type among non-creature spells you've cast this turn, I'm going to sit there and say, put a poison counter on an opponent. Ooh. This is the first time we're talking poison here. And you know, I know, we both know, we all know that poison is coming back in this set. So this is where we see our first poison card. Now the next card reads, create a temp 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. I can see this being like an artifact that you have to tap or you have to add mana. Like maybe you have tap 3 mana and then you get a 3/3 zombie. Maybe 2 mana, get a 3/3 zombie. Let's see what happens here. Now the next one is look at the cards in each pile. Turn a pile of your choice face up. Now this reminds me of Gifts on Giving, or Fact or Fiction from back in the day. Like you make 2 piles. Well, you give your cards to an opponent. Or you draw cards, you give them to your opponent. They make 2 different piles. You set them upside down or right side up, and then they get to pick a pile. I think it's going to be the same thing where you draw like maybe 10 cards. They make different piles. You get to pick a pile. The rest to go into a graveyard. I think it's going to be something like that. We haven't seen a Fact or Fiction or, Gifts and Given in a while. The next one reads, gains your choice of flying, vigilance, death touch, or haste. Okay. I think this is a little underwhelming. I'm going to sit there and say this is a mana tap ability on a legendary creature. Just because the fact that it's like, we used to see this back in the day. It's like, oh, I give my creature death touch or flying. This is a standard thing they do, and that's where I'm going to go with it. This one I'm a little interested in because I do like birds. I do love flying. It's whenever let me rewind there. Whenever you cast a beast or a bird creature spell, I'm going to say draw a card. Draw a card, Ravishing. Why not? There's not too many cards like in the sets in the Brothers War. Originally there are card draw or ways to draw cards, but in the set, I don't think there's going to be a heavy. It's not going to be the fun aspect of it's like, oh, I'm going to just draw a bunch of cards. I think they're going to limit the amount of card draw in the set.
Okay.
All right, Ravishing. Why don't you read us what's next?
Finally, here are some creature type lines in the set.
Creature types. I know one of my friends, Ray, he was on the show almost like a year and a half ago. He did a episode on decks that you should consider very rogue decks, very decks. It's like decks that you wouldn't expect to see that are really good. And I think he's going to be extremely happy. I actually texted him earlier today about it because I saw one of the creature types. I'm like, holy crap. There you go. And I'll let you know when I read it to you. Now, the first one is Artifact Creature Ape. Well, I'm going to say this is going to be like a Curd Ape. And yes, we've already seen the red Curd Ape with the artifacts. I think it's Nerd Ape. I think they call it from, oh, God. There's so many sets now. It starts with not Coruscant. I don't know why I'm thinking Coruscant. Star Wars. Got Star Wars stuck in my head. But it's where Sahili Rai comes from. You guys probably know where I'm talking about now. But I'm going to say this is going to be an ape that has affinity for artifacts and becomes a 2/3 if there's an artifact on the battlefield. Now, this one I'm a little excited about because this is a card that I can't wait for my wife to see. The Ravishing one has a fear, shall I say, of rodents. And this one I think is pretty neat because this one's a really creepy rodent. It's a mole horror. Think about it. How creepy is that? You have horrors that are generally creepy, but a mole horror. This is a creature that just can't see and has to sense everything by its nose, and it just goes, "Hey, I'm here to kill you, but I can't see how to kill you. I'm just gonna smell how to kill you." What do you think, Ravishing?
I think it's gonna be an ugly card with big ugly fangs on the mole.
There you go. Next one is an artifact creature, Phyrexian worm. Yeah, there's nothing to see here. Maybe it has infect, maybe, and if it does, it's going to be one of these where I'm going to throw out there the mana cost is going to be like 5 black mana, literally black, 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 and then one more black. I think it's 5 black mana to cast. Next one is Phyrexian human assassin. This is going to be black, black, black. I don't. You're noticing a theme here. The Phyrexians, they're going to have to go in all black, just to piss people off. Now, this is the one card that I told you that my friend's going to be excited. My boy Ray, a Minotaur Barbarian. I'm going to say this creature is going to be like a red black, maybe red white, but a Minotaur Barbarian. I'm excited to see what this does. I know he's praying like, please, Lord, let's be a 1 mana uh, Minotaur. So for those who are Minotaur fans, congratulations. You may have some Minotaurs in the set. Next one is an Elf Druid Soldier. I'm going to say this is going to be a green white creature. I have nothing more to say there. I don't know how a druid and a soldier can be intertwined. To me, it's counterintuitive. Then you have a human artificer scout. I said red white here as well. Then here comes our legendary creatures. You ready, Ravishing? Legendary creatures. The first one is a human wizard advisor. I'm going to sit there and say this is Esper. This is going to be white, blue, black. I'm excited to see what this one does. We haven't seen advisors in a while, and I would love to build an advisor deck, but there's nothing like. Maybe I'm wrong. You know what? Reach out to me at mtgectoplasm@gmail.com. Let me know. Are are there really, really good advisors? I don't think there are, but let me know. Next one is legendary creature, Elf Druid Scout. I'm going to say this is a green red card. And then finally, legendary creature, Human Artificer Advisor. I want to say this is Mardu. I want to say it's red, white, and black. Human Advisor. The question is, what side is he advising? Is he advising Gix or Urza? And I'm going to say he's advising Gix, not Urza, because Urza's full of himself. He's an arrogant fool. Gix is willing to listen, but he's full of vengeance. Then finally, Ravishing, why don't you read us what's left?
For the answers to these puzzles and so much more, tune into the official Magic YouTube channel on twitch.tv magic at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, noon Eastern Time, October 27th, to watch the debut video for the Brothers War. We'll kick off previews leading into an amazing weekend with the World Championship airing on magic.tv/magic Friday to Sunday and Magic 30.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's this Thursday. Not today, but tomorrow, October 27th, 9 a.m. Pacific time, and then noon Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, twitch.tv/magic. I'm going to be there. The thing is, what I'm going to be is at my nursing station, taking care of my patients, but I will be listening into my earpiece. Hopefully, my supervisor doesn't get mad at me. But I'm curious to see what happens. So I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being on the show. Thank you, Ravishing, for being here. I appreciate you being the guiding light for me always on the show. And ladies and gentlemen, what else is there? One thing you want to share to the show?
No, I think we made all our announcements.
There you go. Buy our Boo Crew t-shirts. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Remember, the next time you're kicking your opponent's ass, make sure they say, that's Boo Sheets.